Ranch dressing. You put it on everything. Pizza. Wings. Salad. Vegetables you'd never eat otherwise. It feels American. Timeless. Like it's always been there. It hasn't. Ranch dressing is less than 70 years old. And it wasn't discovered in a kitchen. It was invented in a hole in the ground. Literally. A man named Steve Henson mixed it in a hidden ranch in the Santa Barbara Mountains, for workers at a sewage construction site in Alaska. That's the origin story nobody tells you. But here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. The moment a corporation got their hands on it, they didn't just sell it. They rewired American eating habits. They made ranch the #1 condiment in the United States, surpassing ketchup in 2017. They engineered cravings in a lab. They funded academic research to prove their product was emotionally satisfying. This is not a food story. This is a corporate takeover story. 1949. Steve Henson is a plumbing contractor working a brutal job in remote Alaska. No restaurants. No supply chains. He's cooking for his crew. He starts experimenting with a buttermilk base. Dried herbs. Garlic. Onion. A little mayo for texture. His crew becomes obsessed. He brings the recipe home to California. In 1954, he and his wife Gail buy a real working ranch in the Santa Ynez Valley. Hidden Creek Ranch. They start inviting guests. Every single one leaves asking for that dressing. By 1956, the Hensons are packaging it in paper envelopes and mailing it directly to customers. No brand. No corporation. Just a handwritten recipe, dried herbs, and a postal address. Word spreads. Celebrities start ordering it. The envelopes multiply. Within a few years, they're processing hundreds of mail orders a week from a ranch with no marketing budget and no distribution network. Steve Henson didn't think he had a product. He thought he had a recipe. He was wrong. 1972. Clorox, yes, the bleach company, is looking to diversify. They've been watching the Hidden Valley Ranch brand grow through word of mouth with zero corporate infrastructure. They see something Steve Henson doesn't. Scalability. Clorox acquires Hidden Valley Ranch for $8 million. Steve walks away. The recipe doesn't. Now here's where the corporate machinery kicks in. Clorox doesn't just bottle the dressing. They engineer it. The original recipe required buttermilk and mayonnaise mixed fresh at home. Clorox's food scientists understood that required effort from the consumer. Effort kills mass market appeal. So they reformulated. They stabilized the emulsion with modified food starch and xanthan gum, a microbial polysaccharide that prevents separation on a shelf. They added MSG derivatives to deepen the savory hit. They introduced calcium disodium EDTA as a preservative. The flavor profile was recalibrated to deliver maximum palatability at first contact, what food scientists call front-loaded taste impact. The result was a product that tasted richer, creamier, and more satisfying than anything you could make at home. That wasn't accidental. That was the point. Before the bottled version dominated, Clorox made a quiet strategic decision that most food historians overlook. They kept selling the dry packet. Why? Because the dry packet required the consumer to buy buttermilk and mayonnaise separately. Every time someone made ranch from a Hidden Valley packet, 2 other companies made money. But more importantly, it embedded ranch into a behavioral ritual. You mixed it yourself. You felt involved. You felt like you made it. That psychological ownership created loyalty that no advertisement could buy. By the late 1970s, Hidden Valley packets were in 40% of American households. Not because of a massive ad campaign. Because of deliberate distribution strategy, they placed the packets near salad ingredients in grocery stores. Proximity drove impulse purchase. It was retail psychology applied to a condiment aisle. Then in 1983, they released the bottled ready-to-use version. Consumers already trusted the brand. The transition was seamless. Sales tripled within 2 years. Here is where it stops being a business story and becomes something darker. In the 1980s and 1990s, Clorox invested in sensory research. They partnered with flavor houses, private companies you've never heard of, like Givaudan and IFF, to analyze exactly why ranch triggered such a strong consumer response. The answer was lead. Ranch hits 4 of the 5 basic taste receptors simultaneously. The buttermilk base provides mild acidity, sourness. The salt content activates saltiness. The garlic and onion powder deliver umami depth. The fat content from mayo triggers the brain's reward pathway associated with caloric density. But the critical element was diacetyl, a naturally occurring compound in cultured dairy that produces a rich, buttery note. It signals to the human brain, high-energy food, safe to consume, eat more. Food scientists call this sensory-specific satiety bypass. Normally, your brain downregulates appetite as you eat. Certain engineered flavor combinations interfere with that signal. Ranch was reformulated to keep you reaching back into the bowl. This is the same science fast food companies use on French fries. The same principle behind why you can't eat just one chip. Clorox didn't stumble onto this. They funded it. By 1992, Hidden Valley Ranch held over 40% of the US pourable salad dressing market. But Clorox had a problem. Salad consumption was declining. They needed ranch to migrate off the salad. They needed it to become a universal sauce. Their marketing team initiated a coordinated campaign targeting quick-service restaurants, fast food chains, and pizza delivery brands specifically. They pitched ranch as a dipping sauce. They subsidized introductory bulk pricing to get it onto menus without financial risk to the restaurant. Pizza Hut introduced ranch dipping sauce as a promotional add-on in the early 1990s. It became one of their highest attachment rate items, meaning customers ordered it alongside their pizza at an extraordinary frequency. Domino's followed. Then wing chains. Then every sports bar in America. Simultaneously, Hidden Valley launched direct-to-consumer advertising built around one message. Ranch isn't a salad dressing. It's a dipping sauce. Billboards, television spots, magazine spreads, all reinforcing the same repositioning. It works so completely that today, most Americans under 30 don't primarily associate ranch with salad at all. The original product use case has been completely displaced by a manufactured one. For decades, ketchup was the undisputed condiment king of America. Heinz had brand loyalty so deep it was considered a cultural institution. In 2017, Hidden Valley Ranch surpassed ketchup in total US sales volume. That didn't happen organically. Clorox had spent 30 years methodically expanding ranch's use cases, funding flavor research, subsidizing restaurant adoption, and running targeted advertising in every demographic segment. They introduced ranch-flavored products across categories: chips, crackers, seasoning blends, dips, frozen foods. Each product was a distribution channel that normalized ranch flavor outside the condiment aisle. They licensed the Hidden Valley name to other manufacturers, creating a ranch flavor ecosystem. Doritos Ranch, Hidden Valley Ranch Seasoning, ranch-flavored popcorn. The brand became a flavor category, not just a product. What started as a plumbing contractor's recipe for construction workers in Alaska had been systematically converted into the most consumed condiment in the United States. Not by accident. By design. Every time you dip a chicken wing into ranch, you're participating in one of the most successful corporate flavor engineering projects in American food history. Steve Henson made something people loved. That part is real. But the version of ranch in your refrigerator right now, the flavor profile, the texture, the addictive quality, the fact that you put it on pizza instead of salad, none of that is accidental. It was designed in a laboratory. It was placed in your behavioral path through retail strategy. It was embedded into restaurant culture through subsidized pricing. And it was reformulated specifically to keep you consuming more than you intended. The food on your plate is rarely just food. It is the end result of a business decision made by someone who needed to move product. Ranch dressing just happens to be one of the most transparent examples we have. Let us know in the comments what we should cover next. Thanks for watching.